Hi, this is Karen, and today I want to talk a little bit about just creating consistency in your business. How to get yourself in the pattern and the habit of doing all the right things in order to have the success that you want in your direct selling business. The truth is that having a successful business is really not as hard as people think. It's just getting yourself into the habit of doing the right things every day, every week, every month, every year, just continually building that consistency in all areas of your business. So let's talk about some of the things that you need to hold consistency in. First of all, let me tell you a little bit about my business. And I know a lot of you have heard my story, and I talk about when I first came into direct selling, how my business was very sporadic. Well, that was because I didn't really know what to do, and I didn't do anything on a daily basis. And I'm much like a lot of you listening to this, where you have small children or you have children at home, you have families, you have other jobs, and there's just a lot of things pulling on you in every which direction, and it makes it really hard to run your business. But I did, once I began to learn the correct way of doing things, and I found things that worked over and over and over again, then what happened is I began to do them more often. As you do things more often and you're doing them the right way, because here's the deal, if you're doing things often, but you're not doing them the correct way, you're still not always going to get the results that you want. So I did hold, I was averaging about 3 to 4 parties per week. I did that for about 48 weeks of the year, and I did that for over 22 years. Now, I got to confess, when I go out there and I'm speaking and I tell people that, people kind of look at me like I have 2 heads, 4 arms, and I'm like some type of monster or something. And they'll say, well, gosh, why did you do that? And I will tell you, I did that even as a top selling leader with my company. And I always tell them there's for 2 reasons. First of all, when you love what you do, you will never work another day in your life. And so I loved my business. I loved going out there and doing parties, meeting people, new people night after night, just having lots of fun. And so it was never a drag. And when your business becomes a drag, that's when you will find that you start, veering off, doing the things that you were doing that, that you did to become successful. And you just start creating, doing different stuff because you're like, oh my God, I'm bored. I got to do something. I'm not liking my job. Okay. So you got to get the passion back. And number one, if that starts happening, you've got to get passion back. And we'll talk a little bit about how to get your passion back in your business too. The second reason that I continually did so many parties for years in my direct selling business is I wanted to build a strong organization, but I didn't want to build an organization of people that were not doing anything, because the more people you have doing nothing on your team, the more life they will suck out of you. They still need nurturing. They still want the phone calls with you. So if they're not doing anything, it's not a good bang for your buck. If you're not making much money on them, I'll tell you right now, you begin to resent the time you put into the people who are not producing sales. If they're not producing sales, they're not producing income for themselves, nor are they generating income for you. And the easiest way to build that strong organization that I want of people that were out there actively doing parties, because they saw me out there doing parties, was by sponsoring at my parties, where I'm putting myself in front of people every single evening, or 3 to 4 evenings per week. I'm putting myself in front of 8 to 10 people, and I was looking for people to sponsor into this business. And then when you get them into the business, you're working with them on a system. And one of the things that I will tell you that worked well for me over the years, and I think that every single one of you will agree, is when you get systems in your business, when you have systems, and your systems can be for doing things, everything that you do at your party intentionally to get more bookings, to get more sales, to get more recruits. Everything that you do when you have a system that's to help you produce better results, The systems save your sanity. People that go crazy in direct selling, people that struggle in direct selling, are people that have no systems. To me, I believe that everyone should have systems for every element of your direct selling business. I had a system for going to my parties. My system was to help me get higher sales, 3 bookings, attempt to get 3 bookings at every single party, and attempt to walk out of that party with 2 to 3 recruit leads at every single time. Now, is it always going to happen? Absolutely not. But it's never going to happen if you don't put things into place in order to expect these things to happen. Okay, then the second system, so I had one system for my business. These are the things that I'm going to do to have a successful business. Then I had another system, and that was my leadership system. And the leadership system was what I did, how I taught my people coming into my business to have the same success that I was having, to have parties with higher sales, to get bookings from every single party, to get recruit leads from every single party, and how to just really, really make it happen so that you were getting the best results. The other element of your leadership system has to be not only to bring people in, so you're kind of doing that sponsoring thing, but the other element of your leadership system has to be to help people succeed. People join direct selling. They know nothing about sales. They know nothing about direct selling. They know nothing about how to close. They don't know how to stay motivated because they've never had to stay motivated in their life to run their own business. They've always had a boss tell them where to go, what to do, when to be there. And they were used to that kind of structure. So we have to give them structure in direct selling, and the structure comes from having a leadership system that you implement, that you're using with them to teach them how to have the success they want. I know that over the years, things have changed a lot. Leaders are more frustrated than ever because of the new technology. It is much more difficult to get people to listen to what you're saying, to learn what you're trying to teach them to do, and to even pick up the phone and answer your phone calls when you're trying to get to them, get in touch with them. But the thing is that you cannot worry about what those who do not want success choose to do. The only thing you can do when you're working with your team is find those who want to work and move them up, and work with them, get them to get to develop the right habits, exactly like you have the right habits for going out there and doing your parties, and get follow up with them, inspecting, helping them move up through the ranks. So let's talk about, I want to go back because there's something I touched on, and that was when you start having slumps in your business. And slumps are, I'm not going to say they're natural, but they're not something that just a few people have. Almost everyone, if you've been in this business for a year, almost everyone is going to go through slumps. Or you're going to go through times in your business when you're questioning yourself, you're questioning your business. It's normal. You have to remember that this is no different than if you had a 30-year career with a company, and you signed up with this company, and you're thinking, it's like they call the 7-year itch. 7 years from now, you're thinking, oh my God, do I really want to spend another 20 years with this company? And you go through, and here's the deal. It's much easier to spend 30 years with a direct selling company than it is to spend 30 years with another company where they're all telling you what to do and stuff. This way, at least you can choose what you want to do. And as long as you're abiding by your company's rules and guidelines, it's not going to be too bad. So, I will tell you, over the years, there's a couple times where my passion dwindled in the business, where I was really questioning, gosh, what do I want to do? I'm really sick and tired of this. It would be normally my passion would dwindle, and I wouldn't be as excited when I was having some type of slump, whether it was a booking slump and I was having a challenge getting bookings no matter what I do. And you know what? We always think we're doing the same thing, and we can be doing the same thing, but we might just not be doing it with the same attitude. All right. And I'll tell you right now, attitudes are contagious. So I could be in a booking slump. It could be in a recruiting slump. Those seem to happen actually more frequently. Recruiting slumps with me tended to happen more frequently than the booking slumps, or a slump in developing leaders and really building my team, which means getting other people out there recruiting, not just me being the only person recruiting on my team. And that can get frustrating as well. So let's talk about how do you get that passion back? The one thing that I did to get the passion back, and I think it is the absolute best exercise. In fact, I believe that everyone should do it, and you should do it often in your business. Just kind of think of, I would create a list and I would go, why I love my business. I'd write something like that, or, 10 things I love about being my own boss, 10 things I love about my company, whatever. But I would have a list and I would just start writing down the reasons that I chose this job in the first place, what I've accomplished from the job. I would start listing all the trips I took. I would start listing the things that I did not miss, like being a homeroom mother for my children all the time they were growing up, because I was one of those moms that was home during the day. So I had that opportunity to be a homeroom mother. I didn't miss that part of my kid's life. I wasn't, I didn't have to ask my boss to get off work. I could just take off. I could go on their field trip. So I started listing all the things. This is why I love this business. This is why I chose this business. This is why I decided to stay with this business. And this is why I am going to make this business work. So we have to...